Well, whether it's hot, whether it's cold, whether it's hot, Frankie's got the weather we got. Wait a minute. Well, whether it's cold, whether it's hot, Frankie's got the weather, whether or not.
Jason Marshall, welcome to the Comedeorological Report. This week, it's the 9th of January. It's the Comedeorological Report. Comedy plus meteorology equals Comedeorology. Here at CKUW-FM Radio, CFUR, and CFBX Radio. That's in Prince George, Winnipeg, Kamloops, and Rogers Television across British Columbia. Plus, you can find us on the Spotify and all those streaming platforms. Blah, blah, blah. We are live on Joey Only Caribou Weather Dude YouTube. And we got the whole panel of Comedeorologists with us as per usual. Frankie's special guest, Jason Marshall, We Don't Have Cookies, has arrived. We're very glad to have him. He's down there in the United States and has been having some significant weather going on. Plus, we got, of course, Frankie McDonald, the star of the show. 177 times we've been doing this now, Frankie. And we got Brandon Houck, the radio weatherman from Brooks, Alberta. We got meteorologist Mark Ingalls in Surrey, British Columbia, Cowboy Hilding Donaldson in Grassy Plains, and Karen Richards out in Prince George, BC. I'm Joey Only. That's the show. How you doing so far, Frankie McDonald?
Frankie!
Can you yodel for us?
Frankie!
Who has the worst weather in the world, Frankie?
Ladies and gentlemen, Frankie!
Things are great so far. Weather all across the world. In North America, there's a storm hitting for Atlanta, Georgia, with freezing rain and snow in the forecast. They're bringing a lot of snow in Arkansas, where Donna Mantis lives. They're bringing a lot of snow in Arkansas right now. And Dallas had freezing rain and snow. And Atlanta's going to bring a lot of freezing rain. They had severe weather in Louisiana right now. It's been mild up in Nova Scotia. It's lots of rain in Vancouver Island right now. It's really dry in California. The Santa Ana winds triggered a lot of fires. They halted the movie industry and things like this. They halted the talk shows and game shows and things like this. They halted a lot of productions in Los Angeles and Southern California because of the Santa Ana winds. They got really cold air for Texas on Friday and Saturday. Then they got a storm hitting for New York City. They got lots of snow hitting for Virginia and the Carolinas as well, in Georgia. Then they got some really cold weather in Nevada, including Utah, Colorado, Wyoming this weekend coming. Then they got there's a low pressure system in Ontario next week in parts of Ontario and Manitoba as well. It's really cold there in Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Alberta. They're going to get colder in British Columbia as well. Then they got some there's a big storm heading for Alaska on Monday as well. Then they got some snow in the forecast in Fairbanks, Alaska. Got rain and snow in Anchorage, Alaska, and surrounding areas up in Alaska. And there's a lot of snow in Anchorage, Alaska, and things like this. There's a whole lot of snow in areas of Alaska like Nome, Alaska, Barrow, Alaska. It's really cold there right now. And Nevada, Cuba, Nevada, Cuba. It's down in Mexico. It's really hot over Mexico to get some rain forecast in central Mexico as well. And then up around the Central America, weather all across Central America is lots of rain and thunderstorms in the forecast, like Colombia, and it's drier there right now in Panama. And the weather all across Central America right now is lots of thunderstorms and rain in southern Mexico, including it's really dry. It's pretty dry in Guatemala, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Nigeria, and Panama, and Honduras. It's chance of showers and thunderstorms in places like in Panama right now, in Panama Canal, and weather all across South America. There's a lot of rain and thunderstorms to forecast in Brazil, including Venezuela. Is drier than normal. There's going to be a little bit of showers to forecast. And there's lots of rain and thunderstorms to forecast in Venezuela, Colombia, parts of Ecuador, parts of Peru, parts of Bolivia. There's lots of rain to forecast in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. And it's really dry in northern Chile right now. In Santiago, Chile, it's really hot and dry right now. In southern Chile, there's a lot of rain hitting this Sunday coming. In southern Chile, and snow up in the mountains. And there's a lot of rain in southern Chile right now. Then they got some really hot weather hitting for Falkland Islands this Sunday coming. They got a heat wave hitting for Stanley, Falkland Islands. It's going to bring really hot temperatures in Stanley, Falkland Islands this Sunday coming. And really hot temperatures hitting for there. And the weather all across Europe. In England, it's cold there right now. Then it got some rain in England right now, in Wales, and then showers in the forecast in Scotland, Northern Ireland, and Ireland. Right now, in France, it got some rain in the forecast in Spain, in northern Spain. In southern Spain, it's drier than normal. There's lots of rain in the forecast in Italy right now, and then they got in the Balkans, like places in Balkans like Bosnia and those Croatia and those places, cold and normal temperatures where snow in the forecast. It's really cold in Poland right now, and there's some snow in the forecast in Poland as well, including Latvia, Estonia, Belarus, and Moscow, and all those places. It's a little bit mild in Turkey right now. Then it gets a really, really cold weather and for Algeria as well. And some rain in the forecast in the north coast of Algeria. And it gets a little bit of snow in the forecast in Algeria as well. And weather all across Japan. Oh my god, in Japan, it's really cold in Tokyo, Japan, Kyoto, Japan, Osaka, Japan, Sendai, Japan, Sapporo, Japan. It's really cold and snow squalls in the forecast in west coast and northwest coast of Japan, including Sapporo, Japan. It's really cold in South Korea, North Korea, Vladivostok, Russia, and Siberia is so cold right now. So is Beijing, China, Mongolia, and all those places. It's really warm and dry in Hong Kong and those places in Taiwan. There's a lot of rain and thunderstorms forecast in Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, and Philippines right now. It's really dry. Then it got some rain and showers and forecast in Vietnam. It's in Cambodia, including Thailand, Myanmar, and the surrounding areas of Vietnam, Laos, and all those places. Cambodia, Thailand, it's really dry there right now. India's in the dry season. A little bit of showers and forecast in Sri Lanka right now. And it got lots of rain in the forecast. It's really warm out in Nepal. It gets a little bit of warm weather in Tibet right now. It's really dry in Pakistan and Afghanistan. Then they got a cold spot in Afghanistan right now. Then they got a little bit of showers and forecast in Iran, somewhere in Iran. Over in the Middle East right now. Weather there right now it's really dry right now. It's really dry in Dubai, and it's really warm and dry in Dubai, Yemen, Oman, and Qatar, and all those places. It's really dry in Egypt right now. It's Nigeria, Ghana, they're in the dry season right now. There's a cyclone hitting for northern Madagascar, Africa. This Saturday coming, it's going to bring lots of rain and wind in northern tip of Madagascar. Lots of rain and thunderstorms in Botswana and northern South Africa, including Angola, Zimbabwe, Zambia, Mozambique right now. La Rio and the Mauritius Islands is rain and thunderstorms are forecast as of right now. Down in Australia, Perth, Australia is really dry right now. It's hot and dry right now. Lots of rain and thunderstorms and hail in the forecast in the east coast of Australia, including Queensland and Brisbane, Australia. Lots of rain and thunderstorms going on in northern Australia right now. I found it. Olivier just saw the sun for the first time of 2025 up at Clocotuck, Nunavut, and lots of rain and thunderstorms going on in Papua New Guinea right now, in French Polynesia, Vanuatu, New Caledonia, and Fiji Islands during the rainy season right now. Down New Zealand right now. Then it got some warm weather in New Zealand right now, and a little bit of showers and forecast in Auckland and Wellington and all those places of South Island, New Zealand. Right now it's still 24-hour daylight in Antarctica. It's 24-hour darkness up above the Arctic Circle, and Olivier is starting to get a little bit of daylight already.
Excellent world weather report, Frankie. How long, I'm going to rewind you a little bit back and talk about Ohio. What kind of weather was going on in Ohio this week, and how long have you been on Jason Marshall, We Don't Have Cookies podcast?
I've been on the We Don't Have Cookies podcast for a while. Jason, how's the weather in Ohio?
It's really cold. And as a matter of fact, you started coming on the podcast in 2015. It's been a long time.
Yeah. That means how was the weather in Ohio?
It's been really snowy, and from what I understand, we're supposed to have more tomorrow.
More snow in Ohio tomorrow. They get lake effect snow and things like this.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that, to be honest with you.
There's lots of snow going on in Ohio right now. And they got cold air in Ohio as well. Then they got a lot of snow with Mantis and Arkansas and all those places right now.
Yeah, I see there's freezing rain going on through parts of Arkansas right now. Little Rock's got snow happening on it. There's rain south of there by Yazoo City. It's a real mess right now in Arkansas, Frankie.
In Atlanta, Georgia, there's a lot of freezing rain and snow going on right now. That's where the regular guys podcasts are from.
I'm gonna ask you, Jason, just tell us about your podcast for a minute here. We're gonna come back to you in the show. We're gonna run through a couple reports after, but let's start off, get everyone familiar with the We Don't Have Cookies podcast.
It's a bit of a mix, and it's kind of evolved over the years. At first, it started out as a podcast / radio show, and finally, we ended up just paring it down to a podcast. And I usually interview comedians, but a lot of times it's just, lack of a better word, just kind of strange people. Like I had a lady, she runs a business called, I can't remember his name, but her name's Mary Weichbach.
Oh my gosh!
And she sells things that she makes out of moose poop. And it's very bizarre, and those are the kinds of people I try to find and have conversations with, just to see how their mind works.
That is totally excellent.
And
That's,
then Jason,
you'll
you
fit
got
right
a
in
tree
here.
planted in the backyard.
Yeah, back in 2018, I planted 130 trees or something like that. So they're everywhere, and Frankie has his own tree. It's a flat peach tree out in the backyard. I can see it from a living room window.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. We got a couple questions for Frankie before we move on tonight too. Karen Richards, meteorologist Karen Richards, what do you got?
Okay, Frankie. Which of the Frankie bobbleheads that have been made so far is your
Then
favorite?
again, the new Frankie Doll Bobbleheads coming out in July 2025. A blue and red T-shirt edition Frankie Doll Bobbleheads. It's going to manufacture it. It's going to be released in July 2025. Jason, you'll be getting them.
That's right. Matter of fact, I got a Frankie bobblehead right there.
You got the
Right on my
black
desk.
one.
Yeah.
Score. I got the green one up there, and it's not the black one. You can see it
And
actually
Karen,
on top of the
this is
skull.
Jason.
Yeah.
That guy that runs We Don't Have Cookies podcast.
Hi, Jason.
Hi.
Meteorologist Mark, you got a question for Frankie?
Frankie, good evening. What is your favorite movie, Frankie?
2012.
How do you feel about Star Wars?
I saw all of them. I saw Star Wars Episode 1 and Episode 9.
Do you like them?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, we're going to come back with our feature guest of the night, Jason Marshall. We Don't Have Cookies podcast here in a few minutes' time, but we got to run through a couple of the regulars here first.
The Brandon Houck Report.
Oh, hi. This is the Brandon Houck Report.
Brought to you by
Smoking good barbecue.
Brandon Houck out there, Brooks, Alberta. How you doing so far, buddy?
Oh, wonderful. Just had, pork roast. So that was pretty much my smoking good barbecue tonight. That's right. That's right. And, yes, it's been a, interesting week of weather. That's for sure. We've been cold. We've had a little snow here and there. And then, yesterday we had a little rain, and then everybody's sliding around, and then the sun came out in the afternoon, which is typical kind of Alberta kind of conditions there. Now, I gotta have to say that again. My voice kind of cracked there, so I'll do that one more time. Smoking good barbecue. There we go. Now, here we are. So we've got, as I said, we had yesterday started off with some rain in the area, and then eventually the sun came out in the afternoon. Now, I do weather all day on the radio, sort of, but I got caught yesterday. Yes, I did. As I was walking around, walking out in the open country, and I had weather recorded for the day. And sometimes people think I'm in the radio station all day long, because sometimes I am, but not really. But somebody pulled up and said, "Brandon, what are you doing out here?" And I said, "Oh, hey." And he's like, "I was just hearing you on the radio. You were just on the radio 1 second ago, just telling everybody the sun was coming out this afternoon. Look, why would you look at there? That's the sun right there." And I'm like, yeah. So that was kind of weird. But anyways, he pulled off, and he got to, probably more weird to him is he heard me talking on the radio, and then he pulled up, and there I was outside his door, out in the middle of the country, in the middle of nowhere. So, yeah, what are the chances of that? Now, talking about weather story and everything else that's going on as we get into the weekend here, the weather, the forecast for the weekend, we are looking at, we've got some freezing rain going on across the northern part of the province, pushing through the high level areas.
At 66 kilometers an hour. Tonight, a few clouds, low down to 12. Then, as we go on into
like
tomorrow, we will be dealing with a potential for a mainly sunny sky.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
Showers, maybe a few thunderstorms popping up late in the afternoon and on into the evening hours. Our high tomorrow.
Stealing Wi-Fi.
So yeah,
Stealing Wi-Fi, Frankie.
that's what I was doing, and the Wi-Fi didn't work actually too. So I was
Okay, sorry I cut you off, but
Okay.
that's classic Brandon clip.
Speaking of stealing Wi-Fi, I'm going to steal freezing rain again tomorrow. Well, not really. Freezing rain happening to the north, staying well to the north of us again tonight. But as we move into tomorrow, we've got this system moving across Saskatchewan that's going to bring some snow for them, especially for the start of the weekend. And for us, we'll see kind of we're going to be seeing our temperatures bump back up. So we were on the cool side today. We bump back up again tomorrow, about 4 degrees for daytime highs. So probably we'll end up with a bit of a rain-snow mix tomorrow. It will be fairly quick, fairly brief, and then it dissipates afterwards. And then we'll see a pocket of snow kind of linger through the weekend there. So probably end up around 5 centimeters of snow. May get 15 to 25 centimeters in the Cypress Hills for the weekend there. So that's the system we'll watch very closely. Other weather stories I'll follow fairly closely here across Canada. We've still got that storm we were talking about last weekend over Newfoundland? It's still there. It hasn't moved at all for a week. So upper level low, bringing unsettled conditions across the East Coast. More snow showers, blustery winds, 70K winds. Yeah. And then still some snow moving across Hudson Bay. They've had a couple of blizzards going on across the Arviat Baker Lake area for the last few days there. And then the system moving into BC as well. Not too dramatic, but definitely something to keep a fairly close eye on. Now, moment you've been waiting for. I haven't had any wild stories for the last few weeks since I was on holidays. But now that I'm back on radio this week, well, I've done some research and found some bizarre things that have happened. First off, I'm going to the country of Zambia here, where a police officer was arrested. Now, how did the police officer get arrested here? Well, he had a little too many eggnogs on New Year's Eve there, and he had too many eggnogs, had a little too much fun, and next thing you know, he goes into the prison there in Zambia, and he says, "Hey guys, would you like to go celebrate New Year's Eve?" He told all the prisoners. Sure, everybody said. So he just opened the gates and said, "All right, guys, have fun. See you later." Well, the prisoners, they didn't come back. So buddy here, yeah, he got himself in trouble. Probably not going to be a police officer for any longer. And he let all the prisoners out. And now he's a prisoner himself. So there you go. That's how a police officer became a prisoner at his own police station.
That never happened to me when I was in jail.
It did, eh?
Never.
Never. Well, anyways, and then this bizarre story out of England here, where they have this banana, Beeston, UK. Somebody has a plate of peeled bananas or something like that. So they put this plate on the sidewalk, and it's been showing up every month, and it's a bit of a mystery here. Nobody knows who's doing it, where it's coming from, why they're doing this, but they have plate full of peeled bananas just randomly on the street, and it's a mystery that hasn't been solved there yet, I guess.
Wow,
And
that's bananas.
Wow, psycho.
that is bananas. BANAS. There you go. And then I heard that song today too, and I was listening to my new headset there, and we're lucky nobody was around because I was saying that word out loud out in the wild, This is bananas. Okay. And then also finally, I guess people around the world actually carry a spare pair of underwear with them wherever they go. So yeah, just in case, you never know when you need the spare pair of underpants.
I wish we had time on the show tonight to really talk about this. Maybe in the after show on the live stream still, we'll get to that. The Brandon Hauk report. This is the Comedeorological Report, and our featured guest tonight is Jason Marshall. We don't have cookies. We'll be with him right after we talk to meteorologist Mark Inglis, who I know wants to go to bed, and he's got all the details on everything going on, California wildfires, you name it. Meteorologist Mark.
That's where Trevor Gardner, the host of Trevor's Happy Hour, lives, Southern California.
It is.
Oh, you're not going to cue up my intro? You're going to save it for the after show or the after edits?
Hello, everyone. I'm at IKEA in Coquitlam, and I don't know that I can ever eat here again. I mean, look at this. Somebody peed in my mac and cheese.
He's caught unaware.
I wasn't ready because I had to go find the Brandon clip, and that took me so long that
no, it's okay. Here we go.
Just got the fat check for pushing that.
My name Mark Ingles.
Pushing that agenda. It says here, HARP, climate change, whatever, in my bank account.
Hello, good evening. I'll start off in Ohio actually because Jason's there, and even though I live in British Columbia, I actually work forecasting for energy in what's called PJM. It's an energy market where you trade power like a commodity from Chicago to the Mid-Atlantic. And this whole week has been really difficult forecasting energy there because snow makes people's behavior different. And so it's very difficult to predict what people are going to do, especially with like school being out and stuff like that. And also it's my first season doing this kind of forecasting, so I don't really know what to expect, but yeah, there's going to be some snow, and like it's going to be freezing rain in the line from like Arkansas, Mississippi over towards Atlanta, like Frankie said, and the north of that it's going to be snow. Tennessee is getting a lot of snow. Parts of Ohio are going to get a lot of snow. Well, I mean, not a lot of snow, but a few inches. And yeah, it's going to make for a difficult Friday for me. But then I'm flying to New Orleans, where I will go to the weather conference with all the weather nerds. Okay, so we've had a lot of weather going on this week. Let's start off in Southern California, where, of course, there is a big Santa Ana wildfire event. And we talked about this last week on the show, that this was a possibility. So it's really incredible how well the weather models performed predicting this in advance. Because we really, meteorologists were starting to see this like 10 days out. And so what happens with Santa Ana is you get high pressure inland because it's cold. Cold air is denser than warm air. We were talking about this in the pre-show, like cities like Idaho Falls and Salt Lake City and Reno are all above 4,000 feet. And it's January and it's cold. Whereas cities like Los Angeles and San Francisco, and even coming up Portland, Seattle, and Vancouver are warmer because, first of all, they're at sea level, and second of all, they are moderated by the Pacific Ocean. And so warm air, cool air being denser than warm air, the air flows to fill kind of like the void that is there, since it's lower pressure on the coast. And so as it descends those mountains, because Los Angeles is surrounded by mountains on the north and east side, as it descends the mountains there, it warms up, and it is very dry because there's not very much moisture in the inland west in the U.S. And it gets very windy and dry conditions, strong wind, and like, yeah, those mountains have trees, but it's kind of like a desert forest. It doesn't rain much in Southern California in general, and this is their wet season, but Pasadena hasn't had any rain since May, so it's very dry. And Dean pointed out in the live chat that reminded me, last year they got a ton of rain, so they've got a lot of understory that's dead, and it descended into the mountains. This actually happens pretty frequently. Like sometimes they can get up to 20 Santa Ana events in a year. This is normal, but what wasn't normal was they also had support from the upper levels. The jet stream was oriented in a way that it aligned with the surface Santa Ana winds. And so if you can imagine like a weir in an irrigation canal, when the water goes over the weir, sorry for the radio listeners, I'm talking with my hands here, but when the water goes over the weir, if you watch that, it accelerates rapidly. and then it's very turbulent at the base of the weir. Well, that's what happens with the wind when it goes over the mountains, and then it's amplified by the jet stream. And so we're talking that there were wind speeds in excess of 150 kilometers an hour, not in on the mountain like it was on the mountaintops, but we also saw isolated gusts approaching 150 kilometers an hour in cities like Pasadena, not on the edge of cities, in cities like Pasadena. Burbank, California recorded a wind gust, I think around 120 kilometers an hour. That's just off the top of my head. I don't have it up here, but very, very big deal. And then when you get a wildfire start in the dry forest there, like if the wind is going over 100 kilometers an hour, you have to have 10 fire trucks there before the wildfire starts. Otherwise, it's just going to get out of hand too quickly. And these wildfires started in mountainous regions. It's not like there's roads to every square inch of the Angeles National Forest. Um, and so these wildfires would start, move toward these communities, and then get caught in get caught in the suburban interface there. And so like the fire in Pasadena is over 10,000 acres, which is somewhere around like 4,500 hectares or whatever. And it is like 70% having burned in neighborhoods, and it got well away from the mountains. And so this is just a very dynamic situation. They're going to have another Santa Ana event, I think, this weekend, another one like Monday or so. These are not going to have amplification from the jet stream, but those wildfires that are still existing and not contained are going to, if they're not contained by then, they're going to be problems again. This is just a very dynamic situation, and that's life living in the mountains in Southern California. And then La Nina, the National Weather Service Climate Prediction Center.
It's finally
which
here.
is a mouthful. It's finally here. We actually talked about this a little bit over the past couple of weeks too, where the sea surface temperatures near the Pacific Ocean, or near the equator in the Pacific Ocean, have finally like dipped down to what we would call La Nina conditions. La Nina means that near the equator, in a specific area between 120 and 170 degrees west, the sea surface temperatures are below average. We thought that this was going to happen earlier in the fall, and it didn't. We speculated on the show, well, more like hypothesized on the show, that very warm ocean temperatures globally were probably impeding that. And in the article that NOAA wrote that I saw today, NOAA, the agency, not NOAA, a person, the article that NOAA wrote today, they hypothesized the same thing. So it's nice to know that we're not out here on an island spouting off crap that we don't know about. Of course, we don't know for sure yet. That would take like academic research, and that takes time, and this is still an ongoing weather event.
But it's very reasonable. It's very reasonable position.
Right. It's a reasonable hypothesis. This La Nina event is very weak and is looking like it's going to be pretty short-lived. We may be back in ENSO neutral conditions, which means near average, as early as April. So this is a very weak one, and that does not bode well for mountain snow here in Western Canada. We talked about, it's rained a lot. In Vancouver, it's rained a lot down here. Vancouver Island, up until about a week and a half ago, it was just storm after storm after storm, which I loved. That's what I moved here for. But yeah, the snow levels are pretty high. I can look at the North Shore Mountains here from my office in Surrey, and there's snow on the top of them, but it doesn't get very far down. So, hopefully as La Nina kicks in, since it's weak, this isn't a guarantee, but hopefully we'll see some more snowpack build up throughout BC and Alberta and up in the Arctic too, before we get our own wildfire season once again. And, we'll see how it goes, but we're already almost half, or we're almost into mid-January, and, it kind of looks like November out there.
I'll be honest, I started to have the thought creep into my head for a couple times recently, that maybe we're actually looking at a fire season again next year, and I'll be quite busy.
So I do want to say before I go, don't forget to find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and Castbox. And that is my transition to Ask Jason, where we find his podcast.
Hey, that was a good one, man. I like that. It's available on all those platforms as well. For some reason, we're having a problem with the feed updating. I need to look into that. It's a problem I
Well,
started taking care of a while ago.
well, you know what that problem is? It's that you don't have cookies.
That's right. That is
You
part
go,
of
yeah,
it.
you
That's
update
it.
your
It's the
cookies
name
on your
of the
computer.
podcast.
Yeah, clear your cache while you're at it.
That's a good idea.
We will
All
get
right.
to
Well,
BC
I'm going to bed.
weather
Good night,
with.
guys.
Good night,
Have a
Mark.
good
I was
night.
going to say we will get to BC weather with Karen and Hilding in a little bit. Thank you very much for the great report tonight, Mark. And I want to open the floor to everybody who might want to ask questions of Jason. We Don't Have Cookies podcast. Jason Marshall, tell us about a couple of your more eccentric guests you've had over the years.
The first one comes to mind. Odilon Azare, that was his name. He had to have legally changed it. I don't even know what it stands for. He got the Guinness Book of World Records for building the tallest hat. And he did it by using the telephone pole behind his house to build a hat around. And then he had to, I forget what it was, he had to wear the hat and make it a certain distance, like so many steps or feet or whatever, and to get the record. And he failed a few times, but he finally got it. That was a pretty interesting one. Let's see. There was another guy named Henrique Cuto. He had this handlebar mustache, and he wore a top hat and like a Hawaiian-esque shirt and these striped like pajama pants that were like purple and orange and yellow. And that was interesting. He put a lot of crazy stuff on for somebody who came to do an audio podcast at the time. So I thought that was interesting. He was a horror movie director, and he actually did a music video for one of my previous guests, and that's how I got to know him. And the last person I'll tell you about was a guy named Father Time, because he just popped in my head when I was talking about people dressing up. When I was doing the radio show, he would come to the radio show or podcast, and he would be dressed in a three-piece suit with a very nice hat, gold chains everywhere, and rings on his fingers. And I got to respect that, even though I just kind of laughed at it a little bit. Because when I first did a radio show, I went in and I dressed as nice as I could. Just, they say dress for the job you want or whatever.
You can always tell a new radio DJ, eh?
Yeah. So I thought, oh man, I dig that. So, because that's how I got my job on the radio. I was just a guest. I came in, I looked presentable, I was decently funny, and I thought, hey man, you never know. So it always works out if you dress nicely sometimes.
Yeah, it's something I'm not good at. I'm total pure hillbilly up here. Total pure hillbilly. I know what you're talking about, though, because before the show, about 2 minutes before I went live and before everyone started showing up there at the live stream beforehand, I said, oh my goodness, and I grabbed my deodorant and put it on. And then as I was doing that, I was like, it's not like the people can smell me.
Yeah.
But I can smell myself, that's be distracting a little bit, right?
I know the feeling. I got a bottle of cologne right there. I do the same thing. I don't know what it is. But yeah. It's like, oh, I can't go on YouTube smelling.
But eventually when you're in radio long enough, you realize what got a face for radio means. And you say, well, you know what? No one cares what I look like. And then you can tell someone who's been a radio DJ for a while, they start looking, they got hair like Brandon. They wear a toque all the time like I do or whatever. I don't have to have the headset on like I used to when I did radio. So that's great. I can wear a toque. That's sweet. Who's got some questions for Jason, by the way, in the podcast? Hilding, you've been quiet all night. So I'm sure you got something scheming on there.
Oh,
and
just real quick.
Sorry,
I don't interrupt you, but just the happiness on Frankie's face made all this worth it. Frankie's always trying to get me on all kinds of podcasts, and it was nice to actually do one that he wanted me to do. And like I said, just seeing him so happy, man, that's awesome.
He was very emphatic last week. He says, Jason Marshall is very important to me. And he like stopped me several times to like emphasize, it's like Frankie cuts in to like try to make sure that you understand what's important to him. And I read that. And so I like messaged you, but I didn't hear back. I was like, well,
Oh,
but I didn't do a very good job at being a messenger either. Fair enough. I'm just a hillbilly, yet I managed to do all these things, and I'm not that good at it. Like the phone rings all the time. I don't answer it. I'm that guy, right? I'm that guy. I'm way more successful than I'm capable of being already, I think, in the world. So you've had Frankie on since 2015. That surprised me hearing that. Tell us about some Frankie moments.
There was this is one of my favorites. There was one where I was late to the show, and while I was on the air, I said something. I introed Frankie, and he was like, "Jason Marshall, you were late. Apologize right now." And I thought that was amazing. So of course I apologized immediately. Let's see. There's got to be some. Oh, there was one where the lady I was talking about, Frankie, was on that show, and I remembered while others were talking. Her business is called Turdy Works, TIRDY Works, and
Her moose poo business.
Yeah, and I was talking to Frankie, and she was in the background, and I guess she got bored and just lit up a joint. And I thought, well, okay, that was that was a little interesting. I wasn't expecting that.
That
when
was in
Frankie
July
on the show.
2023.
That's right. Frankie knows it all, man. I love it.
Well, up here in British Columbia, that's extremely normal behavior. That's it's legal, and you can go to a store and just get it. It's great. Nice. I love it. It's made giving up the life of being an alcoholic so much easier once that kind of stuff changed.
And I found out Trey Campbell's doing stand-up comedy.
Yeah, and he's super funny, isn't he, Frankie?
Trey Campbell's doing stand-up comedy every Thursday nights.
So my favorite Frankie moments are here on the podcast when we get him laughing. He's outside and he's at A&W using their Wi-Fi, and we start accusing him like, "Are you stealing Wi-Fi, Frankie?" And he starts laughing so hard, and he says, "I'm not stealing Wi-Fi at all, whatsoever." And that's always great. Always great gimmicks. Always great gimmicks. Yeah, you know how we started the show, Frankie and I just messaged him and said, "Hey, we should make a weather podcast of weirdos, Canadian weather weirdos." And he said, "Great idea. Sunday night, 7 p.m. That's okay. That was like, it was on.
Nice. Speaking of that, real quick, another great Frankie memory. I had a lady on. She was from Last Comic Standing and some show that was on Fox. I forget the name of it, but she's a comedian named Andy Erickson. Really funny, good person. And me and her are talking. Frankie comes on to do the show, and I never had this happen before, but Frankie gave out the link to the show and I didn't know it. And while I'm talking to Andy, Frankie shows up in the background. I bring Frankie on, and the next thing you know, there's like 6 other people. And I had no clue what was going on because they were all names I didn't know. And then I realized, like, oh, Frankie gave the link to all these other people. We just got like bombed by so many people. It was fantastic. Because what was funny was Andy just got done saying that one of the hardest parts about doing my show is she never knows what I'm going to ask because I ask a lot of weird questions. And then that happened with Frankie, and I told Andy that is one of the best parts of doing the show because I don't even know what's going to happen half the time, and Frankie proved that day, that's for sure.
I don't think one of my strengths in life in general is asking questions. And people be like, "You don't ask questions." I'm like, well, people tell you what they want you to know, and then you be a radio host for years, and you're like, "Okay, I got to ask questions today." I never did get better at it, did I? I don't know. Let's just keep it to the basics, and basically open the door and let people talk. I find often, and they will dig their own graves or sink or swim or whatever, right?
That's right.
Then
Yeah,
it gets the Frankie videos.
We do have the Frankie videos. How about Hilding and Karen? I'm going to ask you quickly about what's going on in Grassy Plains and what's going on in Prince George as I queue up Frankie's videos for the week. Who wants to go first? Karen.
Oh,
Richard.
I feel like I'm in Vancouver. Actually, right now it's today is +2, raining. It rained like monsoon rains here. The only snow that I really have left is everything that we shoveled into a pile. That's it. It's weird. It's weird weather.
And January.
Yeah, and it's warm. Like Joey, I think you mentioned this morning, like you were above zero. I was +3 this morning.
Well, and I was saying before the show how Fort Nelson went from, hitting into -30 consistently for I don't know how many, like a week or more, and up to +4.5 in a matter of 24 to 48 hours. And Mayo, Yukon went from 49 to what was their high, Brandon? When I saw -1, but they might have even got higher than that. But that's a 50-degree temperature swing in a day. Unbelievable.
It's crazy.
Unbelievable. 50 degrees Celsius temperature swing. Unbelievable.
And without a Chinook.
Yeah, just straight pounding from it's a Chinook of a sort, I guess. So the storms are hitting into the Alaska Panhandle, which means we're getting the comma up the coast, but we're just getting this sort of a nice flow of Pacific warm Hawaiian air into BC right now. How are things in the farm, Hilding?
Here come the cows. Yep, that's what we did today. We went out there yesterday and we decided, well, hey, it's nice and warm and there's no ice on the road. Nobody's going to slide into them. We'll take advantage of it and move all the cows across the road. So we brought the cows across the road so they're closer to the farm so we can feed them for the rest of the winter. That worked out real good. Today we separated the last batch of calves, which isn't usually something you do in January. And we've got 12 more calves that need to go to auction sometime next week. So anyway, the cows are really enjoying the warm weather. It makes it a lot easier for us right now. So
calves will never be delicate and friendly, even though
warm enough today that like I had to take my snowplow out and plow the piles of slush that slid off of the snowbanks off of the driveway again before they freeze solid. Like you don't usually think of doing that kind of stuff in the wintertime. It's crazy warm.
Well, here in Wells at 3,135 feet above sea level, and we've had winters that I've been here where we've had 40 feet of measurable precipitation fall in the mountains here. And when I'm looking outside, I'm like, my roof I haven't had to shovel a roof this year. I've gone to the season. I went and I fell trees for everybody else, and then I came to get my own firewood. I was like, I'll get it eventually, and then I just got lazy. And back in November, I was like, well, I barely got enough wood here. I'll have to go soon. I guess I can wait. And it's January, and I'm still stretching the rounders I have out here. So I've never had a winter like this here, and it's not been with here in Wells any like exceedingly warm temperatures like it's been for other places, but still, even for us, we're not getting that pounding snow.
Good afternoon, Weather Comedy Reports. It's Mike McGregor here for the Weather Center in Manitoba, and it's crisp and sunny out. I don't really have a lot of snow downtown right now, despite it being -20. It's a little bit of a view out here. Normally around this time of year we'd have about, that's the Canada Life Center, normally around this time of year would have about twice as much snow. So we're in a snow drought right now, but this is pretty typical for Winnipeg.
Frankie, are you ready for the Frankie videos of the week?
Yes, I'm ready. This is Frankie McDonald, my own TV station live in Sydney, Nova Scotia. Major snowstorm is headed towards Dallas, Texas on Thursday, January 9, 2025. It's going to bring up to 6 to 12 inches of snow or more. That's going to bring really cold temperatures after a snowstorm in Dallas, Texas. It's going to bring really dangerous driving conditions and really treacherous driving conditions. Roads will be snow covered. The streets, roads, highways, and interstate highways will be snow covered. There'll be snow drifts, blowing snow, drifts of snow. It's also going to hit Fort Worth, Texas, and the surrounding areas. It's going to bring a lot of snow. Winds are going to be really, really strong. It's going to cause blowing, drifting snow. There'll be big snow drifts in Dallas, Texas, and the surrounding areas as well. It's going to bring a lot of snow in Dallas and the surrounding areas as well. People in Dallas, Texas, be prepared. And if you want your boots ready, winter jackets ready, hats, a glove, a scarf, and ski pants is ready. Order your pizzas and order your Chinese food. Buy cakes to Pepsi, buy cakes to Coke. Do your grocery shopping. Don't wait till the last minute. Do it right now. Make sure every smartphone, cell phone, laptops, tablet charge. Every 3G, 4G, 5G, and LTE ready as well. With a drive car, take your drive a car. Slow down so you don't get in a car accident when you go for a walk. Be very careful walking so you don't slip and fall. Make sure your furnaces and heat pumps ready. Turn on your furnaces and heat pumps to keep those warm. Drink lots of green tea, white tea, red tea. Drink lots of green tea, keep you warm. Have your extra blankets ready to keep you warm. So make sure your shovel, snow scoop, snow blower, snow plow, salt trucks ready as well. Before everybody living in Dallas, Texas, be prepared for a major snowstorm on Thursday, January 9th, 2025. Take care, stay safe. Don't get caught in a major snowstorm. Stay warm and be safe. This is Frankie McDonald, my own TV station live in Sydney, Nova Scotia. Major winter storms head towards Arkansas on Friday, January 10th, 2025. It's going to bring 6 to 12 inches of snow more, especially in Little Rock, Arkansas, and surrounding areas, including Memphis, Tennessee. And it's going to bring a lot of snow. Winds are going to be pretty strong. It's going to cause blowing, drifting snow, reduce visibility, dangerous, treacherous driving conditions. It's going to bring a lot of snow. The winds are going to be pretty strong, so that's going to cause snow drifts in streets, roads, highways, and interstate highways. There'll be snow covered. There'll be really dangerous driving conditions, especially on roundabouts. As well, it's going to bring a lot of snow in the state of Arkansas, especially in Little Rock, Arkansas, and the surrounding areas as well. It's going to bring a lot of snow. Winds are going to be pretty strong. That's going to cause blowing, drift of snow, reduce visibility, dangerous, and treacherous driving conditions as well. People in Arkansas, be prepared. If you're with the boots ready, with the jackets ready, hats, gloves, scarf, and ski pants is ready. Order your pizzas and order your Chinese food. Buy case of Pepsi, buy case of Coke. Do your grocery shopping. Don't wait till last minute. Do it right now. Make sure your smartphone, cell phones, laptops, tablets charge. Every 3G, 4G, 5G, and LTE ready as well. When you drive a car, take your time to drive a car. Slow down so you don't get in car accidents. When you go for a walk, be very careful walking so you don't slip and fall. Make sure your furnaces and heat pumps ready. Turn on your furnaces and heat pumps to keep those warm. Drink lots of green tea, white tea, red tea. Drink lots of green tea, keep you warm. Have your extra blankets ready to keep you warm. So make sure your shovel, snow scoop, snow blower, snow plow, salt trucks ready as well. If everybody living in Arkansas, be prepared for a major winter storm on Friday, January 10, 2025. Take care, stay safe. Don't get caught in a major winter storm. Stay warm and be safe. This is Frankie McDonald, my own TV station live in Sydney, Nova Scotia. Wildfires are going on in Southern California right now. It's near Los Angeles area. It's going to bring a lot of smoke going all the way down to Long Beach, California. It's going to cause a lot of smoke since the fire is going to be really bad in Los Angeles and outside of Los Angeles and around the surrounding areas. I urge everyone to don't go near the fires. Stay away from the fires. Have your firemen ready. Have your hose ready to put the fire out. Since the fire is going to be really, really bad, since the Santa Ana winds going on in California, winds are really strong in Southern California. I urge everyone to be extra prepared. Don't go near the fires. Stay away from the fires. If the fire gets really, really close, evacuate the area immediately. Since the fire is going to be really bad in Southern California, especially in Los Angeles and surrounding areas as well. A lot of smoke will be coming from the fires as well. Be extra prepared. Have your masks ready because of smoke for the wildfires, because of Santa Ana winds in Southern California. Since don't go near the fires, smoke is really dangerous as well. If you have anybody live in Southern California, be prepared and mentally prepared for wildfires. Be safe. Don't get caught in the fires. Be safe. This is Frankie McDonald, my own TV station live in Sydney, Nova Scotia. Major winter storm is headed towards Atlanta, Georgia on Friday, January 10th, 2025. It's going to bring a lot of freezing rain, ice pellets, and a lot of snow. that could cause extremely dangerous driving conditions, especially on roundabouts and streets, roads, highways, and interstate highways. There'll be snow and ice covered Atlanta, Georgia, and the surrounding areas. It's going to bring a lot of snow. The winds are going to be really strong. It's going to cause blow and drift and so reduce visibility, dangerous and treacherous driving conditions. Put the salt on the road and have your salt trucks ready as well, since roads are going to be extremely dangerous, especially on roundabouts in Atlanta and the surrounding areas as well. It's going to bring a lot of snow and ice in Atlanta and the surrounding areas as well. People in Atlanta, Georgia, be prepared. Have your winter boots, winter jackets, hats, and gloves, scarves, and ski pants ready. Order your pizzas and order your Chinese food. Buy cases of Pepsi, buy cases of Coke. Do your grocery shopping. Don't wait till the last minute. Do it right now. Make sure if your smartphone, cell phones, laptops, tablets charged. Have your 3G, 4G, 5G, and LTE or rent rates. Well, with a drive car, take your time, drive your car slow down so you don't get in car accidents. When you go for a walk, be very careful walking so you don't slip and fall. Make sure your furnaces and heat pumps ready. Turn on your furnaces and heat pumps to keep those warm. Drink lots of green tea, white tea, red tea. Drink lots of green tea, keep warm. Have your extra blanket, rain, keep warm. So make sure your shovel, snow scoop, snow blowers, snow plows, and salt trucks ready. So if you have anybody live in Atlanta, Georgia, be prepared for a major winter storm on Friday, January 10th, 2025. Take care, stay safe. Don't get caught in a major winter storm. Stay warm and drive safe. I got a bonus video. It's chance of thunderstorms in Indonesia. I just sent to the group chat.
Okay, I'll see if I can find that, Frankie. But we are running out of time now.
This is a bonus video.
We are running out of time today on the show.
Just do one more video. Indonesia. Bonus. Put the salt on the road. And I got something else to say. This is Frankie McDowell, my own TV station live in Sydney, Nova Scotia. Chance of thunderstorms head towards Indonesia on Tuesday, January 7th, 2025. It's going to bring a lot of rain. On and off, a lot of rain, including Bali, Indonesia, Jakarta, Indonesia, and the surrounding areas. It's going to bring a whole lot of rain in Indonesia, especially in Jakarta. That's going to cause a lot of mudslides and landslides in Indonesia, especially in Jakarta, Indonesia, Bali, Indonesia, and the surrounding areas. It's going to bring so much rain that could cause mudslides and landslides. It'll be chain lightning, very loud thunder. It's going to last for the next 4 days. In Jakarta, Indonesia, starting on January 7th, 2025. It's going to bring a whole lot of rain. It's going to bring lots of chain lightning, really loud thunder in Jakarta, Indonesia, Bali, Indonesia. It may affect parts of Malaysia and Papua New Guinea as well. It's going to bring a whole lot of rain in Indonesia. I urge everyone to be mentally prepared. Make sure you have your rain gear, rubber boots, and raincoats when you go for a walk. Don't walk to the poles. Avoid the poles when you go for a walk. Since there's going to be a lot of rain in Jakarta, Indonesia, Bali, Indonesia, and the surrounding areas as well. It's going to bring so much rain in Indonesia with heavy downpours in Indonesia, including Jakarta, Indonesia, and the surrounding areas as well. If you have anybody living in Indonesia, be prepared for heavy rain with thunderstorms on Tuesday, January 7th, 2025. It's going to last for the next few days. Take care, stay safe. Don't get caught in a chance of thunderstorms. Stay dry and be safe.
For our fans in Indonesia, we're huge in Indonesia, and we are. Millions of people watching the Comedeorological Report there in Indonesia. Love yous all. Love yous all. Okay, we are coming to near the end of the show, everybody.
That means that Jason Marshall will be the first one to have a social media.
He will. I got something I do want to show because, I only get... I got this TV show here, but I rarely ever put anything of my own on the TV show, and sometimes I want to just show off. So I've been making this video right now. Okay, let me start again. So people who might know me know that I film at times when we're working wildfires, right? So I got a new movie I've made. It's a compilation of our time at the Cutoff Creek fire. So I'm going to show you some of the footage here while we talk on mute. I just wanted to throw some of the footage on the background so that the TV viewers out there can see some of the images that are showing up on the video Cutoff Creek. You can find that Joey Only Caribou Weather Dude YouTube channel. So throw that in the background while we take the show out. And yeah, let's do that. Jason Marshall, let's get your social medias here. This is a crucial part of the show.
Well, I am We Don't Have Cookies on Facebook and Instagram, and Jason Marshall 2 on Twitter.
Jason Marshall. I can't say enough how glad I am that you showed up. I didn't think we were going to see you, and I'm not good at reaching out to people and making stuff happen, right? It's not really my thing. But
Jason Marshall got his own website. We don't have Cookie's website.
That's right. It hasn't been updated in a while because the people that I was using for the service took some things away. So I'm kind of scared if I update it, the whole site's going to break. But yeah, it's up there. And if anybody wants to contact me, you can contact me at jason@wedon'thavecookies.com. That's my email.
There you go. You're listening to the Comedeorological Report here on C4 88.7 FM in Prince George, CKUW 95.9 in Winnipeg, and CFBX 92.5 in Kamloops Plus on Rogers Television all across British Columbia, Frankie.
If you want to follow me on social media, my thread is at FrankieMacD984, and my blue sky is at FrankieMacD. My ex formerly Twitter is at FrankieMacD. My link tree is Frankie MacDonald. My Facebook is Frankie MacDonald. My Instagram is FrankieMacD984. My TikTok is FrankDown984. My Clapper is FrankDown984. My Twitch is FrankDown984. My Snapchat is FrankieMCDON. My YouTube channel is Docs Wolves, and my LinkedIn is Frankie MacDonald. Best luck down, Frankie MacDonald. You're listening to We Don't Have Cookies podcast every Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Atlantic.
That's right. I caught that.
Forest fire season will return in British Columbia in July.
It will return. I think I'm going to be busy next year, Frankie. Jason, you got anyone cool lined up on the show for the next couple weeks there for We Don't Have Cookies?
I'm going to have comedian Jesse Towler on. He's a pretty funny guy. He's a regular. One other thing I did want to mention. We had the world's foremost flat earth guy on the podcast. We were kind of going back and forth. I asked Frankie if he thought the earth was flat, and he said, absolutely not. And that was the perfect answer. And the flat earth guy said that he would expect nothing less. So went uncontested.
Good on you, because that's like the complete opposite of my mentality. I'm like, how to shut these people down. But really what I should do is try to get one of them on the show so that we can humiliate them.
There you go. Mark Sargent's a great guest. If you can find him, he'd be up for it.
That's way more fun but sometimes it's just like, why are we giving these people space to talk? I don't know. But then again, it would be so much fun to really just pick their brains apart,
Yeah.
Those are some good guests. We've had some notables on the show over the years. Yeah, but like I say, I have so many connections in the world. Like, it's crazy how many connections I have in Canada. And the fact that it doesn't cross my mind on Monday, I should get a guest for the show this week. I'm bad at it, which is why we had this sort of group of friends that sort of show up on the show sometimes. And it's like, it really just helps. So check out some of that fire behavior there, man. We saw some pretty crazy stuff at Cutoff Creek. So what I've done is I made 3 videos, because we did 3 tours, 3 14-day tours of the Cutoff Creek Fire. So video 1 is up. Video 2 is now up. Video 3 is available for the members on my channel. And it will be up next week, Wednesday. And that will conclude. And then I'm going to put the 3 together into one cohesive movie so that you can really get the full experience of what it's like to be a wildland firefighter in British Columbia once again. So check that out, Joey Only Caribou Weather Dude YouTube channel. And I think that's bringing us now to pretty much an hour in the show. I think that's the show, Frankie, but the live stream will continue. But that's the show.
That's the show.
That's the show. It's the show for the TV people and for the radio and for everybody. That's the show, Brandon Hauk.
And we have to make sure we have our pizza delivered.
All right, that's the show.
Earthquakes are unpredictable in Japan. We can't escape from earthquakes for forever, and people in Japan can't escape from earthquakes forever. People in Vancouver, you can't escape from major earthquakes forever. And they had an earthquake somewhere in the world. Hurricane warning! Earthquake warning! Hurricane warning! Earthquake warning! Hey everybody, it's Frankie MacDonald. I did not cause a 4.4 magnitude earthquake in Los Angeles, California, at all from breakdown. Hey everybody, I did not cause a volcanic eruption in Iceland at all from breakdown. I did not cause a 4.7 magnitude earthquake at all. Hey everybody, I did not cause major flooding in Poland. Hey everybody, I did not cause wildfires in Southern California at all. Its latest sign is footprints. I will say hi to every single person, the whole entire face of the planet Earth.